Can you get Officer Nassar?
Officer Nassar. These kids not really.
Walk toward the court reporter, spell and state your name.
Officer Nassar. Okay. Okay. That's fine.
That's where you raising your hands. You swear to tell the truth, no truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay. Your oath is right in front of you. Just make sure you speak up in the microphone when you respond.
Good morning. Could you please restate your name for the record?
Abdullah Nasser.
And are you currently employed, and if so, in what capacity?
I am employed at the Detroit Police Department.
And in what capacity are you employed with the Detroit Police Department?
What does that mean?
What is your job?
Oh, I work 8th Precinct Patrol.
And how long have you been employed as a patrol officer?
About 2.5 years.
And were you employed as a patrol officer on June 20th, 2023?
Yes, sir.
Did you in fact work on that date?
Yes, sir.
Were you by yourself or with a partner?
With a partner,
And what is your partner's name?
Officer Green,
And were you on foot patrol or in a scout car?
in a scout car.
And did your duties as a patrol officer take you to an area at or near West McNichols Road and Warwick Street?
Yes, sir.
Is that in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne?
Yes, sir.
And what brought you to that area?
Well, we work patrols at 8th Precinct, so it's within our area.
And did anything happen while you were on this patrol?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
We initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle that was passing on the right and per lane and expired registration, no insurance.
And are those civil infractions?
Yes, sir. No insurance is a misdemeanor.
And you said you conducted a traffic stop. Were you able to conduct this traffic stop?
Yes, sir.
And what happened during this traffic stop?
So after we initiated the traffic stop, my partner's on the driver's side where he was talking to the driver. I was on the passenger side of it. There was a rear passenger that was laying down and a front passenger. So my partner got the driver out and took him to the back of the car in handcuffs. I stood by.
And just to clarify, if there were 3 occupants?
Yes, sir.
So, continue.
So I went to sit with the driver while my partner went to talk to the front passenger and try to get him out of the vehicle as there was no insurance and the driver had no license on him.
And was your partner able to get the front passenger out of the vehicle?
I didn't see the whole incident, but I did see that my partner was on the ground on his back and the front passenger was running away.
And so at this point, what did you do?
I grabbed the driver from near our scout car and brought him to where I can keep eyes on the rear passenger, told him to place his hands on the headrest and stood by for other units while they gave out.
And when you say rear passenger, is there anybody present in the courtroom today that you came into contact with on that
Yes,
day?
sir.
Could you please point out that individual and identify an article of clothing they're wearing?
White dress shirt, and black jeans, pants.
Your Honor, let the record reflect the identification of the defendants.
So reflected.
And what happened after you called out?
After I called it, I stood by. 2 supervisors made the scene at the traffic stop while other units would assist my partner in the foot pursuit. One of the officers, my supervisor grabbed the driver for me, so I'm able to get him out, to get the rear passenger out of the vehicle.
When you say rear passenger, are you referring to the defendants?
Yes, sir. And as I opened the door, I observed a revolver on the ground. on the floor mat within his proximity, within his reach.
And could you describe this firearm?
It was a black revolver.
And where exactly in the vehicle was it?
His head was towards the passenger side and it was right on the floor mat.
Okay, so it was on the floor mat underneath on the passenger side of the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
That would have been by the defendant's feet or his head?
His head.
And was this within the reach of the defendant?
Yes, sir.
When he was lying down in the back seat?
Yes, sir.
So upon seeing this firearm, what did you do?
I grabbed his hands, asked the supervisor to grab it for safety to secure it, and then got him out of the vehicle.
When you say him, are you referring to the
The defendant,
defendant?
we got the defendant out of the vehicle, and an assistant unit took him to the back of the car, their own scout car. And that was it. I just put the weapon inside of our scout car and secured it.
Did you place the weapon into evidence?
Yes,
And what did you do with the vehicle?
we had tweets of it.
Did you issue any citations to the driver of the
Yes,
vehicle?
yes, sir.
And what were those citations?
Passing on the right, expired registration, no insurance.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. What time of day or night was this?
I don't exactly recall, but I know it was within around 2 a.m.-ish, I'm not sure.
Okay, so I mean, it wasn't during the day, daylight hours.
Mhm.
It was sometime
Nighttime.
sometime in the middle of the night,
Yes, ma'am.
what most of us would consider. When you approach the vehicle, do you know, can you see what Mr. Daniels is doing?
As I first approached it, no, but I did see a body laying down.
Okay, so when you first see him, he's laying down in the back seat.
Mhm.
Does he appear to you to be sleeping? Are his eyes closed? Is he looking?
Appeared to be.
Appear to be, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You approach the vehicle and you tell Mr. Daniels to sit up,
Yes, ma'am.
and does he sit up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Attempts to.
he attempts, when you say he attempts to, what was going on that he was attempting to?
His feet were still on the other side of the vehicle and he's still leaning.
Okay. Does he appear to you to be perhaps, intoxicated or something, impacting his ability to sit up straight?
No, ma'am, nothing appeared to be.
Okay. Mr. Daniels is not a small man. Actually, quite large. Do you know whether or not his size is affecting his ability to maneuver in the backseat?
No, ma'am, I didn't know that.
Okay. Well, you could look at him and you can see he is a large.
Yes, ma'am.
You tell him to sit up and he attempts to, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And, at that point, do you see him doing anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What about the driver of the vehicle? Do you have eyes on the driver also?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you see the driver doing anything?
No, ma'am, it's talking to my partner.
Okay. Your partner is at the driver
Driver's side,
window.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you, fair to say, before you approach the vehicle, strike that, before you and your partner approach the vehicle, can you see what's going on in the vehicle?
No, ma'am.
By the time you get up to the vehicle, Mr. Daniels is still laying in the back seat and the passenger or the driver, is sitting in the driver's seat.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a front seat passenger who's sitting there, sitting upright and sitting in the passenger seat. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When, at some point you tell Mr. Daniels to sit up, do you tell him at that time to put his hands on the seat rest in front of him?
When I first told him to sit up.
No? Okay. But you have eyes on him and you don't see him doing anything.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, the driver is placed under arrest Do you then, open the doors to the vehicle and ask the two passengers to exit?
I did not.
Does somebody do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you the one who looks into the vehicle and says you see something on the floorboard in the backseat?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that after the, front seat passenger has run off?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Front seat passenger runs off, driver's still sitting there, and you, open the rear door.
No, ma'am.
Who opens the rear door?
I did, but it was later on.
After
After the driver was served by one of the supervisors.
okay, and after the front seat passenger has run off?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At some point, you open the rear door.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Daniels is still in the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
But prior to the time that rear door was open, Mr. Daniels was ordered to put his hands on the seat in front of him.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and he did that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did not move, after that point?
He did move.
He did?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you?
Playing on his phone, I kept asking to send a message.
He's sitting in the back seat on his phone.
Yes, ma'am.
When you say, he didn't ask you to send a message.
He was asking if he could send a message, I told him no.
He has permission to send a message.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. At some point, then he's taken out of the vehicle, and at that point, you observe, a gun on the floorboard.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it, do you know how that gun got on the floorboard?
No, ma'am.
Do you know how long that gun had been on the floorboard?
No, ma'am.
Do you, know whether or not that gun was registered to anyone?
No, ma'am.
Do you know whether or not that gun was, ever preserved for prints?
No, ma'am.
No, you don't know, or no, it's not?
No, I don't know.
Do you recall what Mr. Daniels was wearing?
Not exactly, ma'am.
Was he wearing a t-shirt?
From what I recall, yes.
Yeah, I mean, not a jacket, a hoodie, anything with pockets?
No, ma'am.
I don't have anything further, thank you.
Correct?
I'm nothing further.
Okay. Any other witnesses for the people?
Further witnesses.
Any defense witnesses?
No.
Okay. You can get argument as to Officer Abdullah step up.
Your Honor, the people would move to bind over the defendant on counts 2 weapons carrying concealed. As we heard from Officer Nasser, the traffic stop was conducted on a vehicle that was passing in the right lane, which is a civil infraction, and Berlin had no insurance. On making that traffic stop, his partner was in the driver's side of the vehicle, he went to the passenger side. Eventually, his partner asked the driver to step out of the vehicle for the no insurance and no driver's license. He then switches sides and stands with the driver while his partner takes out the front seat passenger. At some point, he then hears or observes his partner on the ground and the front seat passenger running off. At which point, he calls out for the direction that they are headed and for backup to his location. Once backup arrives, the officer asks the back seat or rear seat passenger, who's he identified as defendant number 2, Chase Daniels, to exit the scout car or exits the stopped vehicle. On opening the door and getting the defendants to exit out of the vehicle, the officer observed a firearm that was located on the floorboard of the rear seats in which the defendant had been lying on the rear seat. as the officer testified, there were 3 occupants of the vehicle: the driver, the front seat passenger, and the defendant who was lying in the back seat of the vehicle. The officer testified this was his firearm was within the reach of the defendant when he was lying down in the back seat. He then had the defendant step out of the vehicle, detained him. The firearm was recovered and it was placed into evidence. The vehicle was then towed and the driver was issued citations for passing out the rights and no insurance, no driver's license. People believed in at the very probable cause and flashed over the evidence.
Kirker, you cited the facts. Can you address the sequence of events as far as how you have necessary proof with the elements of carrying a concealed weapon in the vehicle?
Firearm was observed in the back of the floorboard of the back seat of the vehicle as the officer asked the defendants to step out of the vehicle. It's a question of fact as to constructive possession of the firearm, as the defendant was the only occupant in the back seat of the vehicle. As the officer testified to, the firearm was within his reach at this point.
We object to the bind over, Judge. Not his car, not seen in possession, not seen any furtive gestures that would indicate that he was in possession. Nothing to indicate, A, that he even knew, man sleeping in the backseat of a car getting driven home, at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nothing to indicate that A, he knew it was there or did anything to be in constructive possession of this weapon. And I don't believe, even if he had opened his eyes and glanced over and saw this gun, even if he knew it was there, and that's still a big if, nothing on this record to show that he was in possession, constructive or otherwise, of that, and we'd object to the bind over.
I believe it's a question of fact for the trial fact based off of the constructive possession theory. The defendant was the only person in the backseat of the vehicle. Be up for trial fact to determine whether or not he knew that the gun was on the floorboard as Officer Abdullah testified. You can say it was hidden, but on the floorboard behind the front passenger seat, where the defendant's head was closest to while laying down. For constructive possession, requires knowledge plus the ability to control. I don't think there's an issue as to whether or not he had the ability, the defendant had the ability to control, because it was just within his reach, whether he knew it existed or was there. That would be for the trial fact to determine. So, Mr. Daniels, I'll have you bound over. It's a probable cause standard. I believe it's enough to send you over to Third Circuit Court for further proceedings. The next court date will be your arraignment on the information. It'll be 2 weeks from today, July 28th at 9:00 a.m. And depending on which judge you get, it'll either be in Zoom or in person. Okay? And bond is.
Thank you.
Anything else from the party?
Nothing further. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you.
Counsel, you and your client.
Two, 3, 5, 7, 3, 2, 4, the people of the state of Michigan versus John Josh Green, charged with count 1, assault with dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, weapons, felony firearm. Count 3, assault with dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 4, weapons, felony firearm, set for exam today. Appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniela Parrish on behalf of the people, PA 5495. Judge, and good morning to you and your staff as well. Harris, Vincent Asia, P76506, Judge, with on behalf of Mr. Green, who's present, and to my right.
Please state your full name for the record, please.
John Tosh Green.
Morning.
Morning, Judge.
People ready to proceed.
My apologies, Your Honor, if you are unable to proceed at this time. Our necessary complaining witness has failed to appear. The OIC is here on the case. I spoke to her. She's indicated that she has tried to contact him upwards of a dozen times. That being said, however, I actually directly spoke to the complaining witness to confirm his appearance and indicate what would happen if he failed to appear. He said that he would appear. He had notice from me personally 2 days ago, and he has failed to appear this time.
Okay, so there's no question whether there was agreement sent out or whether you provided notice. Any motion from the
Yeah, accordingly, I would move to dismiss the standing minutes without prejudice.
It will be without prejudice. I dismiss. So Mr. Bring your case is dismissed today. If the people do wish to reissue, they can do so based on the law, okay? But today, because the complaint was not here.
Okay.
All right, you're all set. Just waiting on the paper.
Thank you, Judge.
You as well.
Thank you.
Wait, I'll tell you, I'll bring it out.
Judge, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. Judge, I may have a video to play.
Okay.
Is there a way to do that?
So you have two options. You can hook up to the HDMI cord that's up there,
Okay.
or you can log on to Zoom and I can make you a co-host and you can play it.
This will work well.
Good choice. Okay, anything else before we go on the record? No? All right, 2356730. The people of the state of Michigan versus Jonathan Lee, charged with 1 count of weapons carried concealed. So for exam today, appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniela Parrish on behalf of the people, P85495.
Good morning, Your Honor. Anthony Carlosimo, P25352. I represent Mr. Lee. He is standing to my right, sir. Tell me what's your name.
My name is Jonathan Lee.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Are the people ready to proceed?
Yes, people are ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, if you want a moment to. set
I
up
can
your
do that.
computer.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Judge. Thank you. This court here is, she's talking. You know, you don't know. Okay.
Sabree.
Okay, your first witness, it's no preliminary matters.
No preliminary matters at this time, Your Honor. People called Officer Dana McGregor.
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 But there's before we start, sequester witnesses, please.
If there's anyone on YouTube or Zoom who may testify as a witness on this case, now's your time to exit the Zoom or YouTube. If there's anyone in the courtroom who may testify as a witness outside of Officer McGregor, now's your time to exit the courtroom.
Thank you.
Dana McGregor, B.A.N. B.A.N. R.E. Yeah.
I'll put
That's all. I do.
So right in front of you, just make sure you see that with the microphone. Are you ready, Mr. Barrett?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. Thank you. I'm gonna answer a series of questions. If you wouldn't mind, both myself and defense counsel are a little bit hard of hearing. You can speak into the mic, and you're welcome to put that mic or you can put it on your lap if easier for you, sir. You mind to repeat your name for the record?
Dana McGregor.
Thank you. Officer McGregor, could you please tell us where you're currently employed and in what capacity?
City of Detroit Police Department, 9th Precinct, Special Operations as a police officer
Thank you. And how long have you been a police officer?
for about 5 years now.
Were you employed in this capacity on May 2nd, 2023?
Yes,
Were you by yourself or with a partner that day?
2 parties.
Do you recall your partner's names that day?
Yes,
Please tell us their names.
Police Officer Aaron Thompson, Police Officer Ronald Perez,
Were you in a full or modified uniform on that day, sir?
full uniform, similar to what I'm wearing today.
And were you on foot or in your scout car?
Scout car,
And was your scout car fully or semi-marked?
marked here.
Did your duties as a police officer take you at or near 13601 East 7 Mile Road in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne?
Yes,
Can you please tell the court why you were at or near said location?
the location is a green light gas station. I was providing special attention to that gas station, stationary in the parking lot.
While you're at or near said location, did you observe something that drew your attention, officer?
Yes,
And what was that?
gentleman carrying a silhouette.
Would you be able to recognize that person today if you saw them?
Yes,
Is that person in the courtroom today?
yes.
Could you please tell the court where they are and an article of clothing they're wearing?
He is sitting at a desk, to your right, wearing a blue button-down shirt, pants, shoes.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the identification of the defendant, Jonathan Lee, please?
So reflected.
Officer, can you please describe how you first observed the defendant on that day?
Yes, on that day, I was looking at the entrance of the gas station, saw Mr. Lee walking out. As he walked out, I saw the clip part of a holster inside the waistband holster, and I could see the top of a handgun inside of his waistband.
Now, you indicated a holster and the top of a
handgun was the open carry or was part of, could you please describe, further, what parts were concealed?
There's the barrel down was concealed, and majority of the weapon was concealed. I was able to see part of the handle.
And based on your observation, what did you do after that?
After that, I approached and inquired if he had a concealed pistol license because I saw that the weapon was concealed.
Okay. So you approached the defendant, inquired with the defendant.
Yes,
Could you please, tell us, when you inquired with the defendant, if he had a concealed pistol license, what if any, thing did he respond?
the response was, yes, I have one, but it isn't with me.
Based on this admission that the defendant did not have his CPL license with him, what if anything did you do, sir?
Because he was armed and did not have the card with him, I removed the firearm from inside the waistband where I initially saw it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end part of that.
I removed the firearm from inside the waistband area.
Okay.
And made the weapon safe.
Was this, do you recall what type of weapon this was that you recovered from the defendant?
Yes,
What type was it?
semi-automatic Glock 20,
Was it loaded?
it was.
After you recovered weapon from the defendant and made it safe, what did you do next, sir?
That time I asked, I believe I inquired about this information, name, date of birth.
Why did you do that?
To confirm the CPL since it was not present
Okay.
to run.
Did you have an opportunity after obtaining his personal information to investigate, if he had a valid CPL?
Yes,
And did your investigation provide you that information, sir?
yes, there was no CPL.
So in fact, the defendant did not have a valid CPL?
Correct.
After your investigation and verifying that the defendant did not have CPL, could you please tell us what you did then?
That time I advised my partners there was no CPL information. I observed my partners contain them in handcuffs.
Was the defendant arrested at that time?
Yes,
Did the defendant provide you voluntarily any information in regards to the weapon or anything further about the CPL after you confirmed that he did not have a CPL?
about the CPL, he informed me that he takes the initial class Wednesday. That was the Wednesday of that week. To get a CPL, to get the certificate
To
for
get a
the,
CPL.
to get the certificate for the CPL.
Officer, can you confirm, what, if anything, you did with the firearm after he was arrested?
Placed the firearm on evidence at the 11th precinct.
Your Honor, defense has stipulated that the people may read in, the evidence tag number that, was taken for that weapon, which is 23050203988. No further questions, thank you. Ross?
Thank you. Good morning, officer. How are you?
Good morning, good, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Officer, you were in a marked car, police car, right?
Correct,
And you had two partners in the car with you,
yes,
total of three of you in the car, right?
correct.
And was there another police car on the scene?
I don't recall any of it.
There were no other police cars on the scene that day?
I don't remember it.
Okay, so you don't remember, you're not sure, is that what you're saying?
Correct, I was there as well.
Oh, okay. So, now, you indicated that this gas station, it's on 7 Mile and Shana?
That's the intersection, so.
Okay. Is it right on the corner?
So on the north side of 7 Mile,
Is
east
the
side of
gas,
Shanger.
so is it on the corner?
Yes.
Okay. All right, now, when did you see this, what looked to be a gun did you first see that? Were you in the vehicle when you saw it, or were you out of the vehicle?
Inside the vehicle.
So you were in the vehicle and you saw the gun? Which you
Yes.
thought was,
No, I saw them.
oh, you saw the gun?
Yes.
Now, officer, it's true that people with a CPL can carry a gun.
That's correct.
So when you saw a gun, you didn't see that as evidence of a crime, did you?
Yes.
Oh,
Carrying a concealed weapon is why I asked if you had the concealed pistol license.
I understand. But if a person has a CPL, they can carry a gun concealed, is that right?
Yes, if they need to see it.
So when you saw this person with a gun,
I inquired.
I understand you inquired, but I'm asking you, when you saw this person with a gun, that wasn't an indication that there was a crime committed, was it?
Yes.
It was, oh, okay. So, you got out of the car after seeing what you testified to, looked to be a gun, right?
Correct.
And did your partners, the other two officers in the car, did they stay in the car?
No,
Well, what did they do?
I believe they got out as well.
You believe they got out as well?
Yes.
Are you guessing? I don't want you to guess.
I made initial contact.
I asked you about whether they got out of the car. Remember if they got out of the car or not?
Yes.
They did get out of the car.
Correct.
All right. And when you approached the defendant, where was he?
Near the gas pump. He was walking out the entrance, towards the gas.
So you pulled in and he was walking out of the entrance, correct?
Yes.
And then when you approached him to ask questions, he was where?
In the parking lot of the gas station.
He was in the parking lot of the gas station.
Yes.
He was at the pump, pumping gas or getting ready to pump gas, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Officer, I got a video from prosecutor's office, they're kind enough to give me a video. And I think it's body cam video that, from you, but you tell me. Okay. Now, can I show it?
Yes.
Thank
To, I recall from anybody who's been in the courtroom before, for the HDMI court, I had to log off Zoom and for it to work. So I'm going to be IT today. Let's see if you can get it to work while we're on Zoom. If not, I think I know.
Okay, let me try.
Okay. Your Honor, the people have no objections to defense showing the video as defense indicated, as long as it's officers, right, this particular officer is riding on camera, we have no objections. So that we could admit of it or showing it?
Him showing or admitting, either one, Your Honor.
You want, like I said, as long as it's actually Officer Craigers.
I'm sorry.
Do you want to admit it, or is that what you're moving, would you be moving? She's stipulating to you having admitted, if that's what you want.
Yeah, Judge, I don't know how I can admit it, given the fact it's on my hard drive.
Well, we can figure that out,
Okay.
IT-wise, but as far as
Yeah,
with evidence.
let me authenticate it, and then we can admit, I have no problem with it.
Okay. Okay, it's not working. Let me try.
No, I have, it's not working yet, Judge. Judge is asking me for the Wi-Fi for a username, password. Is that necessary for me to get Wi-Fi? It says 36th District Court Attorney. Which one? This is the one.
Okay, so now I got share screen.
So if you just play a couple seconds of it to make sure so it's gonna be 30 seconds before audio. You can hit play.
You want me to play?
I just wanna make sure the audio.
Sure, sure.
comes in.
So
So if you can put it at the 30-second mark and then press play.
the audio doesn't start immediately, Judge. I think right around now is when it starts.
Officer McGregor, it's 30 seconds, right, for audio comes in.
Yes, 30 seconds delay.
Okay. Okay, so there's no audio, IT's coming, you want the audio play as well?
I think it'd be appropriate, yes.
Okay.
Possible.
It should be a certain second.
I have a little speaker that I may be able to connect to the computer, put it up there.
I don't know if that would, because you would have to unmute your device, then it would be echo from yours to the. We could also, you could just show it, your laptop to the witness, if you don't mind your client not seeing the video.
I have no objections to
I
that.
don't have any problem, Judge. Whatever the court wants me to do.
If you don't mind just showing it, I can stand behind. Watch it.
You guys like that?
Connor, you mind if I approach with defense? So I don't mind.
Here's Isaac already. Good morning. Morning. So we see the audio that you played. He's,
So, go with your microphone setting on your background. And then select, show the TV set on there now, just like that option.
Is this it?
Nope. Click up there. Okay. Sorry.
I got it.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, just like that.
Speakers.
so he's on.
Oh, you want the table?
Was that right?
That's right.
No, you're right. Yeah, it's like that. You're good. It's like that.
Click on
Yeah,
it.
it's okay, it's like that.
Okay, so it should work.
Yeah. just resolve that.
Go ahead and hit- Wait,
Want
he's
me
in
to
Zoom.
play?
He's on Zoom now. Because we were just trying to figure out another way.
It should, yeah, it should just come through.
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, go ahead and play again for me. And we're sure there's audio in this thing?
Yeah, the 30-second mark is when it comes in.
Oh, okay.
But
Can
this
you?
is that has a 30 second.
Yeah, the remote. Oh, can I set it to your votes?
Yes, please do.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, your mouse is just, no, not that. That's new share. Well, I said stop share. I have your mouse on. Thank you. This one. Stop share. This one, so now, to make sure video. This one just right here to share sound. Then it's like the video, it's not the video. That's right. Share.
So now I got some.
She's got trees. Thank you, Sam. Right.
The one at 7 miles.
You have the, anytime you're sharing on Zoom, there's a box you can share, there's a little box up over the left hand corner that says share sound, and they got something that. You can share. So.
Oh, share
So they hit that, right? They hit that. Just say yes, it's fine. That's why I showed you. Right there, it says share sound. You see the little number.
Oh,
So they don't select that box by default, it's off because it's your system sound, right?
right.
So default gets off, so they have to select that and then select the video, because right now it's just gonna show just a video.
I
just.
Yeah, that's all. So just make sure, yeah, the future.
Okay, I'll make.
He's all set.
Thank you.
Yeah, she comes back.
Thank you.
No problem. You're all good?
I hope so.
No, you're fine. Yeah, okay.
Don't go too far, just in
Oh,
case.
I could, yeah,
Mr. Sassy, could you come on, see Mr. Upshaw, another matter?
That's yours, right?
I am Julian Miller.
Yeah, the Miller.
Yes.
Say something, some crime.
Oh.
You'll have an echo come through.
I see, yeah. Yes, it's fine.
That's so kind, this one.
Thank you.
Ready to go back on the record?
Yes, sir.
Okay, back on the record on Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm gonna try to make sure here we got this going. Officer, can you, looking at this picture, is this video that was produced from your body cam?
Yes.
Okay. And I asked you about how many officers were present that day. Is it your testimony that there was 3 of you? Just 3 of you?
In my vehicle, there was 3 officers.
Well, okay. Was there another police car vehicle showed up? Okay. Did you transport the defendant to the detention center?
Yes, I'm not sure.
Okay. So there might have been another car there that you don't recall. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so officer, seems to be a delay, Judge. My computer runs faster than the video.
It's because he's not on the Wi-Fi, I think, Your Honor, so he's not getting that good enough signals. He's trying to use Zoom, so he's getting internet, but he's probably, I'm not sure if he's with the Wi-Fi or
Well,
not.
I thought I connected to the Wi-Fi.
It's really laggy.
That's what I'm supposed to be.
I want to. Yeah, it's right to me. I got it. I took the.
Class.
Yeah, as long as you got the CPL.
I ain't got it yet. I just took the class like we last week.
Are you just?
Yeah, there's a lag.
You might reboot your computer, because your computer, your mouse is not part of this. When you move your mouse around, it's jerking like that. It's your computer has something running like that's heavy. And that's why it's not keeping up. It might be this video.
Might be a video. I
can't
wasn't
say for
having this
sure.
problem when I was looking at it last night. But, okay, so what do you suggest I do?
You might reboot your laptop.
Okay,
I'd rather you just show it to.
Just show it, yeah.
On your laptop.
all right.
Is there anything on Zoom or no? No, so I can, like, we can disconnect from Zoom, that would clear it up, period. Because you're trying to shove it to the internet.
Okay, let me.
No, you want to keep that cable, you just want to close out of Zoom, sorry. This will make it last.
I thought we were gonna look at it at.
I was gonna have him take his laptop up.
Oh, I got you, okay, got you.
This
All right.
seems like,
Gotcha.
trying to read.
I didn't know if everybody wanted to see, that's why I was like, hey, you just
Yeah, no
disconnect from
problem.
Zoom and you just got to plug the cable in, and it'll just play off the computer.
Um,
That's why I'm thinking it's just something to do with Zoom, just like some issues with this laptop, because this laptop's playing kind of smooth, but this is.
Okay, thank you. And I still owe you a call. Okay, back on the record.
I'm gonna turn this on. Where you can hear, everybody can hear better. Okay. Okay. All right. Try it. Are we on the record?
Second.
Okay. Okay, officer, we're gonna try this again. Have you seen this video before?
No.
Okay. And do you have your report with you to the officer? You do not.
Council, do you mind if once your fire start to turn it so that those
Yeah.
results on the judge
Sure.
can see it?
Sure.
Thank you.
Can you see it?
Yes.
So, officer, this is your video, right? Your body cam?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me just back it up here a little bit, officer. Before we. Now. As you walking up to the defendant, he's at his car, correct?
Yes.
And at this time, you've already seen what you described as the gun in its waist, right?
Yes.
Now, this is you in the car, right? Still in the car.
Yes.
And where were you before you pulled into the the gas station parking lot? Officer, where were you? Just going down the street?
I'm not driving. I'm in the passenger seat.
Okay, you're not driving, but you were in the car, right?
Yes.
And where was the car? Were you just driving down the street or did you park someplace?
We were driving and we didn't park.
So you parked at a gas station?
Yes.
Okay. So you were going by the gas station, you decided to go in the gas station, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And as you pulled into the gas station, you say he was coming out of the gas station.
Yes.
So I'm gonna play this, officer, and you tell me when you first saw the gun.
Yes, fine.
He has a turn on.
Okay, I'll just.
Yeah. Okay. Officer, did you see? At this point, you're getting out of the car, right?
Yes.
Okay. And have you seen the gun yet?
I saw it already.
You saw it already? Okay, so let's go back and see if we can.
He was already walking out as
Okay. The video show that?
it wouldn't be that far away.
Okay, let's see, I'm gonna start it again. And like I asked you before, as soon as you see that point in time, when you saw the gun, say that language, please. Okay, we ready? Okay, here we go. If we pull it up into the gas station, right? Right?
Right.
And this is, you say he's coming out of,
He's already walked out. So by the time we get here, as we were pulling up. he walked out.
so what you said before, is you saw him coming out of the building and you saw the gun, but that's not true, right? He was already in there when you pulled up.
He was walking out of the gas station
Okay,
as we drove up.
okay. Let's do
So
it.
he was already at his car. I got out.
Okay, all right. Let's go back. Okay, I want you, if you can, tell me at what point,
So it'll be at this point as we're driving up. That's it.
And that point for the record being at what second?
You have to go back. It will be the point of driving up. So before we get to the parking lot. So it will be,
okay, but this is far forward as I can go, officer, I can't go.
So-
any further.
right at this point, this is the point of us driving up.
So what you're saying is the point where he was coming out of the gas station, you saw him actually leaving through the door. It's not out of it. Okay.
Too far.
What?
We're too far for this video.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. It's not showing on video, but you can see your gun, what you saw.
Yes.
So here we go, you're coming up at the gas station, okay, he's not coming out, he's already out. Okay, so this is where he's at the gas station, you're approaching him.
Yes.
Now, where are the other two officers that were with you, where are they at this point?
And
They were behind you, and you was the first one approaching him?
yes.
Did you announce that you saw a gun to the officers that were with you? Did you tell? Man's got a gun?
Yes.
And you don't know what he did, where they went. From the time they got out of the car to when you put handcuffs on the defendant. You don't know where your partners were.
I approach partners, whatever.
Okay, so they approached, they spread out, kind of, go around.
I was more focused on Mr. Military.
You don't know what they did. Okay. So when you got out of the car, and your partners got out of the car with you, you was ready to, secure Mr. Lee, right? That you wanted to make sure he wasn't going nowhere, right?
I asked him, yeah, CPL.
I'm talking about you approached him and the other officers got out of the car and they went in different directions to cut off any line of escape for Mr.
Your Honor, I would
I'm not-
object
I'm not
just
sure.
based on the previous answers that it is, it almost sounds like defense counsel is testifying. I believe his previous answer was that he didn't know what his other partners were doing because he was focused on the defendant.
I'm not asking about what the officers were doing, Judge. I'm asking him what the officers were panning, if the officers were panning out to secure Mr. Lee.
So wouldn't that, if he's asking whether they panned out and he's already answered that he doesn't know what they were doing, isn't that just asking the same question in a different kind of way?
At what point did you see all of your partners leave? Since you were focused on the defendant, at what point did you observe your partners once again? After you got shot?
They're my partner after I spoke with Mr. Lee and asked if he had a concealed business license.
Okay, let's go, let me continue the video to see if maybe. So you're approaching Mr. Lee. Okay. And you see your, one of the other officers going around the other side? Is that him, your officer?
He put the screen down.
Can you bring the screen forward because there's a glare, you can't see.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Okay. Let's do this. So you're getting out, you're approaching the defendant, your partner's got out of the car with you. I see somebody coming around backside. Advance frame at a time here. Did you tell him to put your hands up?
No.
You did, but he has his hands up. Right?
Correct.
Okay. You know why he put his hands up?
No.
He's got his hands up, right?
Yep.
Is this your partner behind him? The other side of the door, is that one of your partners?
Yes.
Okay. So you was where you were, one of your partners went around, right?
That's what I see.
Went around and he did that on purpose, didn't he?
I don't know
Your
what
Honor,
he was-
objection, he can't testify as to what somebody did on purpose or not.
Your Honor, this is their partners, they're approaching somebody, he thinks he's got a gun. I'm asking, he can say, I don't know.
Well, it's speculative to say what his partner was doing on purpose and not on purpose. Plus, he already testified that he didn't see his partner, he's only seeing it for the first time, that vantage point from the video.
Okay. So your partner, though, you can see your partner was on the other side, right?
I see that.
You see that? But you didn't see it at the time?
No, I was focused on Mr.
Oh, okay, you focused on, yeah. Now, when you get out of the car, you and your partners, did you say anything to each other about how you're gonna approach the defendant?
No.
Okay, so it was, you got out, you approached them, and your partners got out, and one of them went around to the other side of the car, right? That's what we're seeing.
That's what I see. Yes.
Okay. Now, when you approach, you and your partners approach, you say you don't know why he raised his hand. You think, you didn't tell him to put his hands up, did you?
No.
Did one of your partners tell him to put his hands up?
I didn't hear anything like that.
Okay, all right. but he clearly has his hands up, right?
Correct.
Okay, and do you think maybe the fact that he was surrounded by police officers that, caused him to put his hands up?
Objection, speculative, you can't testify as to why the defendant did what
I
he
didn't
did, he
ask.
can only tell what he observes.
Well, I understand, but he had his hands up, right?
Yes.
And he had officers all the way around it, didn't he? 3 of them.
I was standing there, I see my partner standing on the side of the video.
And the other partner, you don't know where he was,
No,
but he was there.
Is that a question?
Yes, he was there, right?
there wasn't.
He was there, right? Okay. And he wasn't sitting in the car waiting for you to have a conversation with the defendant. He was out there.
I don't know where the third party was.
Okay. So at this point, you asked him if he had a CPU.
I
Correct?
asked him before he put his hands up against.
Okay. Well, let's.
Can the video just be playing in full? There's a stipulation to the people admitting it as defense and exhibit A. Can you just play the full video so the court can just see everything in its entirety?
For sure, Judge, I can do that tonight. I just probably go through it a little bit at a time, but that's fine. I can do that. Now, who was that? Was that you, officer?
I picked the,
Who are these officers? Those are the officers in the car with you?
yes,
Both of them?
yes.
And that was you? That was you? What were you doing?
Okay, so I'm still not able to, I can't watch the video and hear the question at the same time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let the video play too.
You do want it admitted, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm admitting as defense exhibit A. You could just play it from the beginning and just play it for the court. I can
I
see
can
for
do that,
myself as
sure.
well
I can
what's
do
going
that.
on.
So you had to turn on your camera, right? You are. I mean, your mic.
I don't turn on my mic. Yeah, why you got the CPO? I ain't got it, I just took the class. Why you just took the class? So you don't have that car. RTO was investigating one at senior 7 months. Same for is a car registered for now? Your car
I
registered?
just need to hear the video.
Just wanted to reach.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Hey, counsel, I'm trying to understand as far as where questioning, line of questioning is going, as far as the partners being present, and he didn't see until on the video.
Well, Your Honor, I don't, can you answer the question again?
Are you still questioning about who and where his partners were, or are you moving on to something else?
Well, I'd like to establish that if you can help me with the members, maybe now that he's seen the video, he has a better recollection. Has watching this video, officer, refreshed your memory as to how many people, how many officers were present at the time that you approached the defendant?
Yes.
Okay, so was it more than the three that you referred to earlier?
No, I remember the three of us.
And there was no other officers on the scene? You didn't see any other officers on this video that were not in the car with you?
I only see us. I don't see any other officers.
Okay, all right.
At the time of this arrest.
Well, okay. When you say at the time of this arrest, do you mean at the instant that you asked them about CPF?
Yes.
Did other officers come on the scene afterwards?
I don't remember.
But you haven't seen anybody in this video so far that was an officer other than the ones that were in the car with you. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So, officer, you said that you did not tell the defendant to put up his hands, right?
Yes.
But he did put up his hands.
Connor, sorry, just for efficiency purposes, I'm gonna object to all these questions have been asked and answered.
It was asked 3 times already in the video shows with the audio part.
Okay, all right, great. All right. No more questions of this officer.
Okay.
I just have one question, just to clarify, we just watched all the video, 2 questions actually. When the video shows, you inside the vehicle and approaching, so do you manually turn on your video?
Yes.
Okay. You said something to defense that you don't, do the sound, so does the sound automatically come on after you do actually trigger the video?
Yes, after I press the video, and press the camera on, if it doesn't come on automatically, the audio starts.
Okay, so you don't have to do anything additional to get that, audio, correct?
No.
Okay. And, just my only question with that is, you indicated that you asked the defendant if he had a CPI. You had an opportunity to watch the video, as did, court, myself, and defense counsel. Did you ask that question, before, during, or after, before or after, the audio turned on and everything?
Before the audio.
No further questions.
No, Your Honor, I guess not.
Any other witnesses?
No further witnesses from the people, Your Honor.
Any defense witnesses?
No, Your Honor, I have no witnesses.
Okay. Very good, officer, that's not an argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the people move that defendant Jonathan Lee be bound over on count 1, weapons carrying concealed weapons, and reserve argument. Thank you.
Your Honor, at this time, I'm asking for not to bind him over. I believe, Your Honor, that we have here an unlawful search and seizure. The officer testified that he saw what he thought was a gun, and that in his mind gave him reason to approach the defendant. My argument, Your Honor, is that seeing a person with a gun does not provide law enforcement with reasonable suspicion that there's a crime afoot. People in this state are allowed to carry a gun with a CPL. Now, the officer says that he simply asked the question, but at the time he asked this question, Your Honor, my client was surrounded by police. He put his hands up. Put his hands up because there was a show of authority by the police, and he had nowhere to go. He had gas pump in front of him, the car he was trying to put gas in behind him, and an officer on either side. Your Honor, he was effectively in custody, seized, under arrest, when the officer asked him if he had a CPL. Your Honor, I don't think that that's proper. I believe that that is an unlawful seizure without reasonable suspicion or probable cause. I asked the court not to bind him over. I asked the court to suppress the gun and suppress his statements regarding his CPL. Thank you.
Ms. Parrish?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to respectfully correct defense. The officer did not say he did what he believed. He was quite certain on direct and indicated that he knew it was a gun. We can actually see on the video too, there's no hesitation by that officer. The moment that vehicle, that scout vehicle stops, he's out of the car and going beeline directly for the defendant. Just by observing that video, you can tell by the physical actions of the officer corroborates his testimony that he clearly saw a concealed weapon. And in this great state of Michigan, you're allowed to open carry, but the moment you conceal a weapon or carrying a concealed weapon, even if it's partially concealed with the butt of the gun is out and allows the officer to realize that the defendant is carrying a concealed weapon, that at that point does give an officer reasonable suspicion to believe that a crime is afoot, because it is a crime to carry a concealed weapon without a CPL. Officer approached him, asked him if he had a CPL. According to testimony, defendant initially indicated that he did. And once the mic comes back on, again, what we hear corroborates what the officer indicated, because at that point, the officer's reconfirming after he's already, the gun's already been taken off of the defendant's person, that he is being detained. He's indicating, well, as long as you have that card, and at that point, defendant clarifies that he is about to take the class. And as I've said in other instances, we hate to see this, someone who is able to have a CPL, is intending to have a CPL, and unfortunately, this occurs where they get stopped because they are carrying a concealed weapon prior to completing the requirements of obtaining a CPL. At this point, you do not have a CPL. There is nothing been indicated that there wasn't reasonable suspicion. So at this point in time, as far as probable cause standard, people believe probable cause has been met, and we ask that the defendant be bound over for weapons carried concealed. Thank you, Your Honor.
You have something else?
Your Honor, if I may, my point is that the question about whether or not you have a CPL came after my client was seized, after he was under arrest. Okay, and I believe that that's demonstrated by the fact that he was surrounded by officers and he put up his hands because he believed he was under arrest. The officers don't have to say you're under arrest, or they don't have to put you in handcuffs. And seeing a gun on a person is not basis to form a reasonable suspicion, because carrying a gun is legal in the state with a CPL. Now, if they had, this wasn't a casual conversation, Your Honor. They weren't talking about the game last night. The officers got out of the car with the purpose of seizing the defendant and then figuring it out. Their first objective was to put him under arrest, or at least show enough authority to make sure he wasn't gonna go anywhere. And then they were gonna figure it out. And yeah, it's a 50-50 toss-up. He might have a CPL, he might not. If he did, then we wouldn't be here, and my client would have been let go on his way. But, Your Honor, that's not the way the Constitution works. The officers have to have a reasonable suspicion before they arrest someone. And the arrest can be effected by a show of authority. That's what happened in this case, Your Honor. I'd ask the court to grant my motion, suppress the gun and my client's statements.
I understand your argument, Attorney Festival. However, if this thing probably cause error, I do believe that people have medicine for proof. I understand the video that you were trying to establish or show through cross how one of the partners of Officer McGregor was on the opposite side of your client, and what you were arguing that he was not freely seized at that time. That would be a question of fact for the trier of fact, because Officer McGregor's testimony states that before the audio came on, he observed the defendant come out of the vehicle or out of the gas station. He did say that he saw, that's what he thought, he said, he saw the top of a handgun inside of his waistband and the clip part of a holster, and that the barrel was concealed. We all know, based off of Terry, police officers can approach individuals to ask questions. In this case, Officer McGregor stated that he asked the defendant, do you have a CPL? The defendant said yes. At that point, the defendant did not produce a CPL. In the video, when the audio comes on, you hear the defendant say that he took a class or something to that nature, but that he didn't have a CPL or he could not produce one. I believe it would be a question of fact for the trier of fact as to whether or not he was seized. And question of fact for the trier of fact whether he was seized at the time that he was asked about a CPL.
Your Honor, excuse me, and maybe I'm misunderstanding.
What, did I misunderstand something?
No, I may have misunderstood something. Your Honor, trier of fact is not going to decide whether or not the gun should be suppressed. That's not.
The trier of fact means the circuit court judge must file a motion to suppress.
Okay.
Okay, fine. If that's what you're like.
I understand. Thank you. Judge, how do we get the video into evidence?
I admitted it
Okay. And,
because it was stipulation from the people.
all right, so physical video, do you want it or do I keep it?
Oh, you keep it.
Okay,
I'm done with this case.
okay.
Once
So
it gets bound over, I don't have anything else to do with it.
I understand. So just so we have it identified later on, do we know what we're talking about? That's been in evidence?
The transcript,
Or
the transcript will be produced and they'll have it on.
very good. Thank you.
Mr. Lee, you're gonna be bound over to Third Circuit Court. Your arraignment on the information date will be 2 weeks from today, July 28th at 9:00 a.m. Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. It'll be in person or Zoom, depending on which judge you get. Okay? And fines continue.
Thank you. Okay, we're going on.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
We had a little bit of fiasco here today.
That's all right. Thank you. Okay, this is case 2357508, People of the State of Michigan versus Julian Waddell Miller, charged violent harm less than murder or by strangulation. Count to assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault with the habitual offender section, and another set for an exam today. Appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. We're assessing on behalf of the people, P67104.
And Randall Upshaw on behalf of Mr. Miller, P number 43574. State your name for the record, Mr. Miller.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, are the people ready to proceed?
We are ready to proceed on,
Oh, he has two cases.
he has two cases, Judge, yes. He said, as to, well, we'll start with
I just called the one ending at 508.
508. Okay, as to 508, Your Honor, the people are not ready to proceed. Our complaining witness did not appear. He was served. OIC did speak with him and he did not appear today.
Your Honor, may I ask for dismissal without prejudice?
Okay, as people are not ready to proceed, I would dismiss without prejudice. Mr. Miller, what that means is the people may and can reissue if they like to, depending on whether or not the complaining witness is contacted and wish to move forward. But if this is the case, okay? So we still have left case number 2357507. Mr. Miller also charged on this case with count 1, assault with intent to murder, count 2, first-degree arson, count 3, explosives placing near property causing physical injury, count 4, explosives placing near property causing property damage, count 5, assault with intent to rape, violent harm less than murder or by strangulation, count 6, arson, preparation to burn real property resulting in injury, count 7, arson, preparation to burn property, $20,000 or more, count 8, malicious destruction of a building, $20,000 or more, count 9, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault with the habitual offender second offense is also set for exam today.
Lauren Ursesi on behalf of the people, P67104.
And Randall Upshaw, P number 43574, on behalf of Mr. Miller. State your name for the record, Mr. Miller.
And as to this matter, Your Honor, the people are ready to proceed. The people's witnesses are here and prepared to testify. Defense did approach the people and asked if we would be willing to waive. I have discussed this matter with my own supervisor, Chief Gary Bresnahan. He has agreed that we may allow a waiver on this matter. I do want to make one amendment to the complaint and information. That would be to counts 7 and 8, as well as 4. The complainant name is listed as Nicola Nunu in those 3 counts. And I would just ask that we add Nicola Nunu and Abraham Nicola Nunu. They are father and son. They are both owners of this location.
For count 7, 8, and 4.
Correct. I did do that back first.
On count 7, I don't see a name at all.
On count 7, that's true. That's correct, Your Honor. I put a note to it because I would need that witness for that. So I apologize. That would be for count 8 and count 4.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. And I did discuss this with Mr. Upshaw prior to going on the record.
That is correct, John.
Before we get to the waiver, I do have the discovery order.
Yes, Your Honor. The prosecutor provided the discovery in which they had. I'm not saying in the book. But just, my opinion is I would ask for additional, there's multiple cameras in the place. I received one. And there's an incident started a little earlier. So I'm asking 15 minutes prior to the fire.
Oh, all of that should have been sent already. If not yesterday, I did add more. No, strike that, that's a different case. But all that camera footage should have already been sent to you.
If it is, Your Honor, I can just cover my, maybe I didn't see it. Just place that in order.
Okay. I will place on the record, and I apologize for putting off, Judge, because it does go to discovery. The people are in receipt of the defendant's cell phone records. I've uploaded what I can. There is one file that is so large that I'm having difficulty. And I have contacted our litigation technology unit. They are working on it, so that can transfer that over to Mr. Upshaw.
And the order, just on the record, number 6 added that says all interim and, all interior and exterior surveillance videos beginning 15 minutes before fire.
That should already be there.
Okay, I will sign it, so it shouldn't be an issue.
Should not, no, not at all.
Okay, anything else before I begin the waiver?
No, no.
Okay, Mr. Miller. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you can't hear me, or if you don't understand me, let me know, okay? You have to speak up for the court reporter too, okay? Is it your wish to waive your preliminary exam today? You understand that you have a statutory right to a preliminary exam? That if you were to demand that exam today, that people would have to show as a probable cause standard, which is a lower standard in criminal law, but still a standard, that all of the charges I read off, that would be the 9 counts, were committed in the city of Detroit, and that you probably committed those crimes. You understand that? So that by waiving your exam today, that means that people do not have to present any evidence, they don't have to present any witnesses today to prove anything at the probable cause standard. You understand? You also understand that you are not giving up your right to trial. Did anyone force you or threaten you to waive your exam? Did anyone promise you anything? Okay, I find your waiver to be freely, understandingly, and voluntarily given. You are not in custody, so your right now the information date will be 2 weeks from today, July 28th at 9:00 a.m. Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. Depending on who you get as a judge, you may be in person or you may be on Zoom. But Attorney Upshaw will.
Judge, I do want to address one issue. I just want to make sure that bond order inclusive, that there is no contact with the 19331 West 7 Mile address, or Ahmed Alhami, or Nicola Nugent, and Ahmed.
With Abraham need to be included as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And so essentially, that's the Noco gas station, is that address.
Okay. So it's already, I believe, in your bond condition, Mr. Miller, but you're not to go to that location or have contact with 19331 West 7 Mile, which is the Sunoco gas station, as well as Ahmed Alhami, as well as Nicola Nunu, and Abraham Nicola Nunu, those three individuals. And that means no social media, no third parties, no form of contact in any way. You understand that? Okay. Anything else?
No, you're not. Thank you.
All right, you're all set, Mr. Miller, you can wait in the hallway, you need to wait for your turn.
Everyone have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience today.
Welcome.